Ozone in water purification is used throughout the world in the major cities throughout the world for its amazing oxidation and disinfection property. Ozone in air purification is also used to maintain and improve air quality, especially indoor air quality. It's also used and becoming more and more used to maintain fresh food in storage, in cold rooms, in transport. So what is ozone? Basically, it's supercharged oxygen. It is a natural element and readily found in nature. It's composed of 3 atoms of oxygen as a very powerful disinfectant and destroys 99% of bacteria, viruses, fungi, etc. More importantly than anything, it is 1.5 times more powerful and works 3,000 times faster as a disinfectant than chlorine, which is the most commonly used disinfectant internationally. If you compare the oxidation potential of ozone to chlorine, ozone has an oxidation potential of 2.07, and you look down at chlorine, which is only 1.38. So where can ozone be found? We all know about the ozone layer. It is produced in the atmosphere by lightning discharges, which is basically a corona discharge. It is also produced from the sun's ultraviolet rays in our upper atmosphere, producing the ozone layer. And it will attack viruses, bacteria, mold, fungi, pollution, contaminants, and that's why we are so interested in ozone and what it can be used for. Basically, it's a normal oxygen molecule present in the air, which, when applied energy to it, splits the oxygen into 2 atomic oxygen atoms, and those atomic oxygen O1s connect with a separate O2, which then makes an O3 molecule. And this is a very unstable and starts to perform its oxidation immediately, but after its oxidation is finished, it reverts back to oxygen almost immediately. So ozone is produced by applying electrical energy to split the oxygen molecules, and various methods of producing it using ultraviolet, as in the ozone layer, the corona discharge, which is the most popular method of using ozone, or the electrolytic method, which is becoming more and more known now for ultra pure water, where the oxygen from the water is removed to produce the ozone, not the oxygen in the air. Chlorine is the natural, traditional disinfectant that's been used for many, many years. It is a very, very effective disinfectant, as we all know, but it reacts with natural organics present in water to form chemical byproducts. And those byproducts are highly toxic, carcinogenic, and very hard to remove. Trihalomethanes or THMs are formed. So when you use chlorine as a disinfectant, it creates toxic byproducts, which then remains in the food or in water or in the soil, for example. If you look at the chlorine effects on health, the World Health Organization maintains that exposure to chlorinated water can trigger asthma. It increases cholesterol HDL ratios, increases the risk of bladder cancer, and if chlorinated water significantly increases dermatitis or skin problems such as eczema. The EPA, for example, says that repeated exposure to chlorine in air or water adversely affects the immune system, the blood, the heart, and the respiratory system of animals. Chlorine's effect on the environment. It damages the gills of fish, inhibiting their ability to absorb oxygen. It affects the behavioral changes of migratory movement of fish. It creates reproductive problems in animals. Tiny concentrations of chlorine kills many, many aquatic life forms. And the Chlorine causes environmental harm at low levels. Chlorine is especially harmful to organisms living in water and in soil. Whereas the ozone effect on health works quicker than chlorine, reverts back to normal oxygen, degrades pesticides, herbicides, and contaminants present in food or water, and there's no chemical byproduct formation. So when you use ozone as a disinfectant, there are no chemical residues, and become the product or the water or the air is eco-friendly, safe and beneficial for health, and can be also called the ozone effect on the environment means that it's 100% chemical free. It removes chemical contaminants, including pharmaceutical contaminants, improves biodegradation of contaminants, and it enables the true destruction of pollution, and it's the only technology to be able to do that. Water with ozone can be recycled, obviously. So where is ozone used? Drinking and wastewater treatment, indoor air quality disinfection and sanitizing, processing, storage and transport of fresh food, ozone therapy. Ozone in drinking water is more powerful than traditional water treatment in disinfecting destruction of organisms, even the resistant bacteria, viruses and parasites. The complete removal of odor and color, it improves the taste, degradation of pesticides, pharmaceutical residue, and there are no harmful or health endangering byproducts. In air treatment, ozone is used as shock treatment in its gaseous form to decontaminate and provide a perfectly clean environment where there are no bad odors, no microorganisms, etc. For example, a container, before or after or during transport. Cold rooms, storage rooms, curing rooms, surgeries, hospital rooms where disinfection or sanitizing is essential. Garbage refuse area to get rid of the smell. Smoking areas, get rid of smoke permanently. Hotel rooms, deodorize any smell that may have hung over from the hotel room. For example, paint. After you've painted a room, you can occupy it almost immediately. So, as a shock treatment to gaseous ozone, 2, using it to maintain a bacteria-free atmosphere in your indoor air or surfaces, preventing growth of airborne and surface microorganisms and fungi and mold to destroy ethylene. You introduced small, at the right levels, amounts of ozone into a container during the transport, or into a cold room, a storage room, or a curing room, to garbage or refuse areas, smoking areas, washroom. Will maintain the sanitizing, get rid of or stop the growth of mold and fungi, etc. Whereas if you're using chemicals for room decontamination, for example, is a high cost. You can't wipe down every fabric on the walls, curtains, ceiling, carpets with a chemical, whereas with the ozone gas it has the ability to penetrate. Retention of unpleasant disinfectant odor in the treated room after you've decontaminated it. And you've got the problem of staff or workers inhaling the chemical that might be in the air. Ozone air treatment. If you look at the virtues of where ozone can be used, the American Medical Association says that 50% of all illnesses could be attributed to indoor air pollution. The EPA, Environment Protection Agency, says indoor pollution can reach as much as 200 times as outside pollution. The Center of Disease Control USA says hospital-acquired infections are the 4th leading cause of death in the USA. More than 100,000 people will die each year as a result. Ozone can easily provide indoor pollution-free environment technologies to keep your environment clean. In food disinfection, ozone will sanitize food, leaving no chemical residue behind. Pesticides and other contaminants found on food can be removed with rinse with ozone. Ozone doesn't affect the organoleptic properties of food, such as taste, texture, color, and smell. And then if you look at this list of bacteria found in food which cause problems: Staphylococcus, E. coli, Salmonella, Listeria, Pseudomonas, Streptococcus, Bacillus cereus, and Enterocolitica, all well-known bacteria that any hygiene expert or food processor will tell you that they worry. In food processing, you can reduce your water consumption by up to 90% because you can recycle it, of course. The same water that you are used to wash your vegetables can be converted back to ozonated water to be used for processed water. Whereas chlorine water needs to be replaced every 2 to 3 hours. With ozone, you get reduced chilling cost, reduced water consumption, and its effect on produce, well, obviously 21 days of life of expansion of fruit and vegetables with chlorine, as opposed to, and 50 to 80% extension of fish and beef will reduce weight loss of fruit and vegetables. Ozone reduces brown spot on fruits and vegetables, improves sensory qualities of the produce. So if you check these pictures, the strawberries before and after, or using tap water as opposed to ozone water, you can see that it maintains its firmness, and the same goes with the broccoli. So ozone versus chlorine. In chlorinated food treated with chlorine, you get a decrease in firmness, softer produce, and your produce is more prone to mechanical injury. Whereas in ozone, there's no change in firmness. In fact, it does become crispy. Fruit and vegetables life extension is 10 days, whereas with fruit and vegetables in ozone, 21 days is the norm. Chlorine will provide strong odors in the plant, which causes the workers to be uncomfortable, whereas ozone will give a fresh odor in the plant, the same pleasant odor after a thunderstorm. Chlorine will cause off flavors in food, and ozone will not cause any off flavors. And chlorine will have a harmful effect on health and environment, whereas it no harmful effect on health or nature, as ozone will to normal oxygen. When it comes to ozone therapy, ozone basically is supercharged oxygen. We all know how good oxygen is for the body. Ozone introduced into the body through water or by insufflation can work wonders, or as a germicidal rinse for wound healing. Kill anaerobic bacteria and viruses. Strengthen the immune system. Purify the blood by oxidation. Healthy white blood corpuscles, all to do with the immune system. So whether you're already using ozone in water, air, food processing treatment, or as a therapy or not, and you want to know more, or are you applying it properly, or are you interested in buying the right equipment, no matter where you are, look for the 4 dedicated presentations for each application, or call the experts. info@getozone.co.za, a mail to them will get you a response to any of your queries, or just check out the wealth of information on the www.ozonize.co.za